Good morning and welcome back. My last two guests today are both from Child and Family Services. I have Stephanie Detloff and Stacy Bauer. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Now, as we're taping this, Stephanie, you're just reeling in the success of your wonderful fundraiser you had, and you know what a great fundraiser it was, and it was much appreciated that the community supported you so greatly.
Yeah, I mean, this community has always just been such a wonderful support in any ventures that we've had, and this was no different. Of course, Child and Family celebrates their 60th anniversary this year, and so we were really grateful to all those that came out to our 1950s gala. We were happy to have Alan Brown, who was the former director of Child and Family here, as a keynote speaker, and just again really grateful for those that donated to the event, everybody that came out for the cause, really to support our mission, which is to serve children and families in our communities. So we're looking forward to another 60 years just doing what we do, and so we're very, very grateful. This community has always stepped up with regard to needs that we have, filling in the gaps and providing additional resources and supports outside of sometimes the services that we have. So it was a great event, and again, we're very grateful to everybody that came out and supported us.
Yes, Alpena is a town that gives till it feels good.
Yes.
And you brought Stacy with you today.
Yes. Stacy Bauer is our new child welfare supervisor, so she will be overseeing licensing and foster care, and we are really happy to have her. She has an extensive background around licensing, and just another great resource in terms of knowing the community, knowing what's out there. So she's a strong advocate for those that need services, and so again, we're very grateful to have her.
Well, Stacy, welcome to Child and Family Services. I'm sure you're a great addition to their team.
Thank you.
So licensing, let's talk about licensing for a moment. You know, a lot of people think, oh, I could be a foster parent, I could do this, I could do that, but it comes with a great responsibility.
Sure, there is a lot of responsibility with it, but you are right, most anybody can be. If you can pass a background check, we don't have requirements around whether or not you're married. You have to be able to be sustainable in your own family, so make enough money to support your own family. But licensing is something that is a lot of time goes into, about 6 months it takes to become licensed. But then you get a child into your home that you get to make a difference in giving them some permanency, or helping them return back to their home, and taking them into your home while their parents are trying to work on getting their things that they need to have a safe home back at home. So
okay, and then when licensing, it takes about 6 months. So of course, obviously they make sure your home is safe, sanitary, secure.
Yes.
And then you don't just license them, open the foster home to them and say, okay, you're licensed, and then set them free.
No, absolutely not. When you're first licensed, you get a 6-month provisional license. At the end of 6 months, we come back through and reevaluate your home, making sure that you have everything that you need in place to make sure that you're still good with having children in your home. And then once a year, we come back and we evaluate you once again every year.
And you know, I think about a child being removed from a home and going to a foster home. There's that transitional period. So if there are issues, does Child and Family help with those issues too?
Yes, we have licensing workers that come in and support the foster parents. We have training around that. We offer training to the foster parents, and then that on-call phone and different things like that. So we're always within reach to be able to help in any situation.
How often do foster parents adopt the children that are brought to their homes if they become available for adoption?
Well, in northern Michigan, we have the benefit of having a lot of prevention services in place before children are actually removed from the home.
Okay.
So our return rate is a little bit lower than downstate, where they don't have as many prevention services. So we have maybe 50–60% of our kids that are available for permanency eventually.
Wow. And Stephanie, there's a great need for foster families in our community.
Yes, absolutely. We are always looking for foster parents, and so if this is something that somebody has been thinking about and wondering about, certainly reach out to our agency and we can kind of give you all the details. Again, within our agency, we really offer that continuum of care, so we can license the home, we can support you through the foster home licensing process, work with you as a foster parent, and then move toward that continuum of adoption if that's something a foster parent is interested in. And so that's one of the unique things that I like about our agency, is the fact that we do kind of have that continuum of care. And foster parents certainly have an incredible impact into the life of a child. Again, it's providing that safe place while parents are working on things. if you know, a foster parent at some point, you know, I guess I look at it this way, it's a way to even provide a different way for children and parents who are overcoming circumstances to have a different roadmap or blueprint to life, and foster parents can play a key role in that. And so they really have the impact of making a difference in that child's life, and also being a support to sometimes those birth parents.
Yes.
And sometimes they serve as those great mentors and role models, again, as speaking to kind of helping them with a different roadmap to overcome some of those circumstances and barriers. And so we do have a lot of supports in place to really help foster parents kind of know what to expect, what to understand. We're kind of in a little bit of a reboot in terms of our agency, so in some ways we're kind of building the ship as we're sailing it and coming up with some different ways to do some different things to really offer additional supports to foster parents, especially around training, helping parents to know maybe what they don't know, and just access different resources and services that would help them.
When I think of a child just going to a home where, with a stranger, someone they didn't know before, but just knowing that that stranger is opening up their home to them just because they want to help and make a difference, because they do get a stipend, but it's certainly not enough to support you or a family. You
Right,
wouldn't open your home and be a foster parent for the money that you're going to make.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
So I like that there's the ongoing supports, and I know you do a lot of events together and all kinds of different things too.
Yeah, and again, we are really grateful to this community. We have some great collaborative partnerships with other agencies that we work with, and just really happy that we have those resources in place too. So it certainly helps us to tap into other resources that maybe we can't provide, but through our partnerships and our collaborations, then we can reach out and make sure some of those needs are taken care of.
And then Stacy, if someone's thinking, you know, this is something I've always wanted to do, I'm retired, you know, I have so much time on my hands, my grandkids don't live in town, what can I do? And they had questions like, say that, well, I have a pit bull dog, I don't have a fenced-in backyard, I have a lot of stairs in my house. A phone call to you can help answer some of those questions?
They can call Child and Family Services, 989-356-4567. Ask to talk to a licensing worker. I can speak with them, or our other licensing worker can. And we start with an orientation, which that orientation covers almost every question anybody could ever ask. And so we'd be happy. There's no obligation and no cost to have an orientation in your home. We're happy to come out and do it, so just give us a call.
Okay, well, we're just about out of time. I want to thank both of you very much for all the hard work that you do in our community to ensure the safety of the children of our community. And congratulations again on the wonderful success of your event.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you, Stacy.
Thank you.
Please stay tuned for Dr. Don McMaster following these messages.
Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Dr. Don McMaster. I'm president of Alpena Community College, and I'm pleased to have as our guest this morning Tim Kuhnlein, political science instructor at Alpena Community College, a wonderful teacher with a long legacy of excellence in the classroom.
Thank you.
For sure. And we're here today to talk about kind of a community project you've been involved in, and you know, we have a new iteration of it, and this is the stone sculptures on the what would that be, the east end of Van Laer Hall. It's just inspiring the way, to me, the way it's taking shape. Why don't you share with the viewers some of the details of it?
Well, thank you, first of all. And it is a pleasure to be a part of this project. It's been a year in the making, and it's an extension of a much larger concept of populating the bypath with sculptures, which goes back to 1974-76 when the bypath was created. The intent was to populate the bypath as a sculptured bypath in honor of the bicentennial celebration. And here we are several decades later, kind of resurrecting the sculptural component. And I'm just so pleased that ACC and the Thunder Bay Arts Council have been able to couple up on this and bring in lots of partners to make it a reality. So what we're doing on the east end of Van Laer Hall is a history of industry sculpture series that will use limestone columns to highlight as canvases individual pieces of artwork focused on 6 major themes of industry in Alpena and the region. And those themes are Native American copper processing, fisheries, and along with that, the foraging types of activity like hunting and farming that are so common here and have been for a long time. And then, of course, lumbering was a major, and all of the things associated with that, the logging, the lumbering, the forestry, and the paper industry. And then, of course, concrete technologies, and there's a whole series of interconnected industries related with that. Of course, grounded in the limestone deposits that we have here, thus the limestone columns as the canvas. And then education and healthcare, very much a part of a modern economy and pivotal to our role at the college and the hospital right nearby.
You bet.
And then the final piece, which will actually be located over at Washington Park, forcing people to go on the other side of the sanctuary, using the bypath, embedding art in nature and hopefully motivating us to recreate within it. That's focused on recreation and tourism, which is a major theme in modern economic development.
And in our town as well.
And in our town, that's right.
So how did you come up with the idea of the stones? They kind of remind me a little bit of kind of a Stonehenge sort of effect.
You know, it's hard to actually stop and think about how kind of all this evolved, especially within about a year. You know, I think we were really excited with the feedback we got from the sculptures last year.
Yes.
The Global Collaboration Awareness piece at the college, and then the Departure Blue Heron at Duck
beautiful.
Park.
Both
And
of them.
I think that just sort of motivated us to, you know, again, on that end of town, take another stab at this. And I don't know, I guess the history guru in me came out, and we have a committee that is very sort of inspirational, and it's a combination of people at the college, people at the Thunder Bay Arts Council, and then as the idea just sort of evolved, we got all these corporate partners to come on board. Limestone seemed to be the way for us to create a monolithic presence without having to and affording the type of large-scale artwork that can get very expensive.
Indeed.
So I think we thought that limestone, which is a natural base for economic activity, obviously, in this region, it would give us the size, and then we could scale down the artwork so that it was more affordable and actually get more sculptures to have an overall greater impact. And all of it just came, you know, full circle on this theme of industry. You know, that site is extremely important as well. It's not just that we chose Alpena Community College as the site per se, it's that property which was donated by Jesse Besser is historically significant for the purposes of industry, not just because of Besser, but there was Native American copper processing on that site, and it's clearly marked there.
Yeah.
A lot of those artifacts are at the Besser Museum. So these deep historical experiences make this a pivotal location, tying into this overall theme. But then that site is also where the Besser Churchill company stood, and that they produced barrel staves and shingles initially. But as the lumber industry faded out, market demand started changing. Of course, Jesse Besser innovated the Besser block machine at that site, and of course shifted their focus to initially cement with the cement company, and then of course the production of the block machine. So it's really a great focal point for this to be located, this particular installation to be centered. It's also the actual beginning point of the Alpena bypath. That was the initial leg going from the college and the museum through the north end of town to the downtown area and the harbor. And so resurrecting the sculptural component of this, it only makes sense that corridor, the Johnson corridor, be really the focal point.
Wonderful.
So
that is, I mean, that's such a beautiful piece of property, and it's just add it to what you folks accomplished last year.
Yeah.
So we got about 45 seconds left. If you have any folks that you would like to thank, let's do that now.
Well, clearly the group at Arts Council and the college, if it weren't for them, we wouldn't be doing this. Besser Foundation, they gave us the initial seed money that helped us encourage other donors. The Parks and Recreation Commission, the City of Alpena, Calcite, the Carmoose Lime and Stone Company, major donors, Lafarge. We've been working together across the board. Craig Froggatt has been really the other major factor here with Oak City. If it weren't for them, we wouldn't have been able to get the rock here. Just numerous individual businesses, government agencies, nonprofits. It's really kind of amazing to think about how many community organizations have been involved in this.
Well, Tim, thank you, and thank you for leading it.
Thank you,
We
my
appreciate
pleasure.
it. It'll be something the community values for years. And thank you, folks, for watching Talk of the Town. We'll see you again next week.
This has been Talk of the Town with your host, Nancy Smitham and Dr. Don McMaster. For a list of community events taking place in Northeast Michigan, please visit our website at wbkb11.com and click on our community link. This has been a Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation production.